at this point?
Well, we looks pretty good now. It didn't look very good 2 games ago when we were down 2-1 and coming off 2 losses. But just got to give credit to the guys. They have kept their heads up. They moved forward. They moved on and just found a way to grind out 2 wins. Tonight was such a grind out win. Christian stepping up, making big shots in the fourth quarter. And then guys keeping us in the game. It wasn't pretty. It was really, really hard out there. Japeth I thought he was going to faint. He was so exhausted. And we even did back-to-back timeouts just so, guys could rest. That's how tiring that game was. So, I mean, hats off to our guys. They really reached deep tonight for this one.
Coach, at the start of the second half, Meralco showed a strong start. Can you just take us through how you managed to overcome that 15-point lead in the same quarter?
Gee, I don't even remember. Seems like a long time ago already. It took us a while, I think, to really get into battle mode. We weren't really reaching deep and playing at a real battle. Just go out there and battle and do whatever it takes type of game. And then all of a sudden it just started to click in. And the leaders, Christian, LA, Scotty, just started to really step up. And I thought the energy started to leave. These guys were vocal during timeouts. And I think that just kind of revved everybody up. And we started getting into that battle mode. And once we did, our crowd got into it, and I think that put a lot of pressure on them, and so we really got to credit our sixth man tonight. Haven't had that really throughout the series. It's the first time we've really had that sixth man out there for us tonight.
Coach, given everything that has happened, are you still seeing some of the things that you need to adjust in preparation for Game 6?
Well, if I tell you, I have to kill you. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, we didn't play a pretty game tonight. There was a lot of things. I think even Chris would say there was a lot of things we can still get better on. We'll take a look at the video again. They changed up a lot of things tonight. They changed up their pick and roll coverage. They changed up their coverage on Christian. So they made some wholesale adjustments, and first half will really hurt us. And that what was really key, I thought, was that little run we made at the end of the half to bring it down to like 4 points. That got us back into the basketball game, got us a little bit more looking forward and more feeling up rather than down at halftime.
Thank you, Coach Tim. Now, Christian, I would like to ask you as well. Tonight you showed that you're also a master of that medium range jumper. Can you just talk about how you develop that confidence to shoot from that distance?
I know, you try to read what the defense is giving you, and that's what it was there. It was a little short roll, and coach tells me to shoot that if it's open. So then I take it. But it's more about the decision making that is really the challenge for me or for us maybe in this conference in this semifinals run. They change a lot the coverages, so I'm just trying to make the right read and make the right decision.
Well, if I may say, Christian, I mean, if you saw us practice, you see how much Christian works on that shot. He works on it all the time, and he has faith in it. We have faith in it, and when guys are going to back off him like they do for the drive, he's got to be able to take that shot and make it, and he did that at a really high percentage tonight. But that's just through really hard work that he does.
Christian, we also saw you carrying the offensive load for the team multiple times throughout this series. Can you just talk about, how your teammates are always constantly looking for you for those shots?
No, I think that's Ginebra basketball. No, we're trying to make each other better. Like I said, the management, Bossal, Coach Tim, they did a great job of getting character guys that want to pass first. I don't think we have one selfish person in the team, and obviously that helps. And as much as I get my teammates involved, and what I'm trying to do, as much they get me involved, and we try to make each other better. It is nice to play with teammates like that.
And lastly, Christian, we saw you diversifying, how you would approach the game today. Any adjustments also that you're looking at, have a stronger grip on Game 6?
My routine is always the same. It doesn't matter what time the game is. I wake up to a certain amount of time before the game starts. I eat the same food at the same time, 5 hours or something before the game. So my preparation doesn't change. But what changes is my reaction to what they're trying to do and just trying to make the right reads. And I think we have a great video analyst with Pat and Jam and the coaching staff. So just watching film and listening to what they have to say with Coach Kirk, Coach Richard, and everybody, that helps a lot too.
I laugh about it because this guy is really into routines. He's really a routine
That's
guy.
the German in me.
Thank you, Christian, and congratulations, gentlemen. Now we would like to open the floor to our friends from the media.
You ask him first so we can get out.
Christian, congratulations.
Thank you.
The series, tonight you scored 34, one game at 41. Sometimes it's 10 or maybe more than that. But more than the scoring, you normally contribute a lot of rebounds, assists, and it's important is that you're all around despite sometimes you can score, sometimes you score big like tonight.
It's not really about points or rebounds or anything. It's just about affecting winning. It's nice to have a bunch of winners around me, and I have to give really credit to Meralco too. They're playing a great season with Newsom and Cliff. They got two absolute winners that affect winning, and that's just my goal. I just want to affect winning in as many forms possible.
How tough is it, being guarded by the Meralco Base, Almasan, Brandon Bay?
It's 5-on-1.
Yeah, they're good. They're solid, playing solid. They're strong too. Let's not underestimate that. Those are not weak guys, but again, trying to look at each one of them and trying to find where my advantage lays with each single coverage. That's the goal, and then trying to get my teammates involved. Good. Thank you, guys.
Go get your ice.
Coach, more than winning tonight and getting the great to lead, you got the advantage, but with Game 7, possibly Game 7 in Batangas, with all it seems that getting Game 6 is more important considering the arrangements and everything.
Well, those are things that I always try to tell a team that's just totally out of our control. If we have to go to a Game 7, then we will do the best we can to make it as smooth as we can in terms of getting there and getting prepared and understanding the gym and doing what needs to be done. We're going to have full support from the management in terms of anything we need at that point, and going into a Game 7, they're going to supply for us. So that's not something we worry about, and it's certainly not something we want to think about right now. It's just one game ahead of us, and that's all we want to think about, just that one game. And I'm sorry to the fans in Batangas, but if we don't see them, I'll be very, very happy. But if we do, then I hope we can put on a show for them.
Coach, in the first half, you had 12 turnovers. Second half, you only had 2, I believe. So
Yeah.
How important was that, limiting those turnovers?
Well, they're really, they rely a lot on their pressure to disrupt us and not allow us to execute. A lot of teams do that to us. They're being much more effective than most teams, because they're really affecting our ability to execute. And that's something we talked about at halftime. We have to be mentally stronger to want to execute, to really push through the pressure to get execution, and not just play with our like chickens with their heads cut off. And that's kind of like what we did in that first half. Like I said, I don't think we were in battle mode in that first half. We were really locked into the game and locked into what they were doing. I think at halftime we got a little bit better settled. Came out a little bit flat to start that third quarter, a little flat, and that allowed them to stretch the lead a little bit back up. But then we got our footing, and once we caught up, I felt at the end of the third quarter, I felt that that was a point where we really got locked in and we were playing at a high level, what we expect to play at.
Coach, how did that buzzer beater by LA?
That was huge, yeah, that was huge, because it really gave us a mental lift more than anything else. It drew us within 1 point, but more than that, we had just made a mistake, I think, prior to that. I'm not sure, I think it was a defensive mistake we had made prior to that, or a turnover, I'm not sure. And then LA made that three, and it's so much of this game is mental, and so much of this game is trying to stay positive and battle through the negativity that often happens when you start thinking, oh, we're going to lose, or we keep making mistakes, or we're not making shots, or the other team is outplaying us. You have to battle through that negativity and really fight to stay positive. And when you get little lifts like that, like a shot like LA made at the end of that third quarter, that really lifted us going into the timeout, where everybody was now, instead of battling what would have been a negative, we were all locked in and ready to move forward because we were all positive. So those things you can't underestimate them. Those moments in the game, they really lift your spirits in a grind out game like that. When a game is being grinded out like that, you have more of a negative emotion than you do a positive emotion, because you're just battling through all the tough things that are going on, and very little positive stuff is going through. If you're up by 10, 15, 20 points, or if it's back and forth, there's a chance to be positive and stay positive. But in those grind out games, you're just really battling negativity.
Coach, you mentioned it twice earlier that this wasn't a pretty win for Ginebra, but what exactly do you want to see improve coming into Game 6? What facet of the Gin Kings game do you want to see?
I just think our readiness to start the basketball game is really key. I think that getting off on the right foot with this team has really been a challenge for us and for them. And I think the team that does it is, team that gets off to the right foot really has an advantage through the game. Again, it's that positive, negative kind of thing going on. And like I said, we're just trying to grind wins out. That's what we're trying to do in this series.
Coach, 18 points for Cristo Intero, but he had 16 in the first half. What exactly was the halftime instructions to lock down?
Well, he was hitting shots from everywhere in that first half, and it's hard to maintain that pace and continue to hit shots like that. So that's why you got 5 guys on the floor. It's one guy has a hot stretch, and then later on another guy have a hot stretch, another guy have a hot stretch. That's what being a team is all about, not relying on one guy. And we had that nice hot stretch by Christian where he hit like 4 or 5 jumpers in a row, or 4 out of 5, I think. And you just kind of hope a guy like that cools down, basically, because he wasn't making easy shots. He was making deep threes. He was 4 for 6 from the 3-point line in the first half, and he was making deep threes. And he missed a couple in the third quarter, and I think that kind of cooled him down a little bit. So it's hard to defend a guy when he's shooting from 28 feet and making them. That's why Steph Curry's so hard to guard.
Coach, you mentioned about battling through the negativity. How proud are you of the boys of overcoming a 2-1 deficit and now having the chance to close it out in Game 6?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that we have battled through. Like I said, we were down on ourselves, and after going down 2-1 in the series, and we didn't play 2 good games. Our Game 3 was just horrendous, and we went back the next day and just kind of looked at each other, and we were all really down, and we talked about it. We talked about the negativity at that point and how we had to turn that around and walk into this next game positive. Luckily, we got out to a quick lead in the Game 4, and that really lifted our spirits. And then coming out here in Game 5, falling behind by 15 points. I didn't know we went down that much, but apparently 15 points, and battling back twice, because we came back pretty much in the at the end of the half, and then we had to come back again at the end of the third quarter. So we battled and battled, and that's what I'm most proud about, our guys' ability to battle. And then fight through all that adversity and find a way to win. That's very character building as a team. And that's basically playoff basketball. That's the only way you win in the playoffs. Unless you're San Miguel, and San Miguel just walks on and beats everybody. Don't tell George I said that.
And that sums up our post-game press conference. Thank you and congratulations once again to Barangay Ginebra.
Thank you. Now, I'm really sorry I said that.